Welcome to another episode of Bitches Breakdown. This is episode 27. We're covering Raw, SmackDown, the post-Mania hoopla. We're going to talk game sevens. Yeah, sevens, two of them in the NBA playoffs, Celtics, Sixers, Magic, Pistons. We're going to talk about a long-tenured tag team that mysteriously decided they want to call it quits and leave the WWE mutually. And I'll get more on that later. And we talk about my two favorite MLB baseball teams and see how they doing early in the season. So all that and more on Bishop's Breakdown. So you know how we do it. Let's break it down. Hey everyone, it's Bishop. I got something special for you today. On the next bonus episode, I'm breaking down the top 4 teams in college basketball, giving you my insider's take and predictions you won't hear anywhere else. Plus, I'll dive into Vince Russo and John Cena's AEW talk and why he's crazy. No fluff, just straight analysis. This episode is exclusive to my Patreon supporters. For just a few bucks a month, you got bonus episodes like this, exclusive merch, and even a chance to ask me questions directly on a live Q&A session. So if you want in, join the crew now. The link will be in the description, and I'd love to have you on board and make sure you never miss the inside scoop. So break that down. So welcome back to the show. Let's talk Monday Night Raw that took place on April 27th. So Becky had a open challenge, even though she was gloating about how great her WrestleMania win was. She got to share it with her daughter, whatever. But she said she wanted an open challenge. And so EO Sky comes out and say, "What's up?" And she was like, just kidding. No one said you deserve it. But that's not how open challenges go. So Adam Pearce was like, "Let's do this." And then, you know how the match went, because Asuka and EO has a match coming up at Backlash. So Asuka interfered or whatever. But moving on, Seth and Braun had a promo battle for the ages. Seth went after him. Braun came back to him, told Seth that, he's the best in the world at being number 2. So backhanded compliments galore. And then Seth Rollins said that real cinema quote by saying, "Steiner, you're not even number 2 in your own family." Ouch. Ouch. Scott, Rick, and then Braun. Ooh. At least he didn't say 4 or 5, because, Scott Steiner's kid just got picked up by an NFL team. But let's move on. So you got a pre-taping with Roman and the new bloodline. When it's the old bloodline, it's, Jimmy and Jay next to him, Yeet Man or whatever. And they're all stole it like, I don't know, like I seen this before not too long ago with Solo Sikoa being surrounded by Tala and Tama and whoever, and JC Mateo, which, spoiler alert, I'll get to that later. So it was average. I mean, for a pre-taping, it should have been pure cinema, but it was like, I don't know. It just didn't, it didn't make oomph like it normally does when Roman was, at the head of the table, doing his thing. Maybe he needs Paul Heyman. Maybe the tribal chief, the head of the table, is not quite there without Paul Heyman. I'm not saying Roman can't talk, because Roman can talk, but like, I think they're missing something. But I'm also thinking that one of those Usos is turning on him. Maybe not at Backlash. If you don't know what that means, you're too old or too young for this podcast. But if you want to know, go to the Backlash commercial that they did, and you'll get it. But yeah, Jacob and Roman had a face-off, and Roman said he was the one who let him in when Solo was bringing him into the company. They asked him for his okay. But didn't he already just say that to CM Punk? So he really is repeating lines not even 6 months later. And that's stupid. But Jacob had enough and, put him in Tongan deathlock that the Tongans father did so many years ago and threatened to take everything. I'll take your Ulafala. I'll take, take your title. I'm taking everything from you, Roman, at Backlash, but yeah, sure. I don't think Jacob's winning. I mean, I know there's rumors that TKO took Roman off I think there's like 4 or 5 shows that he was advertised for in June and July, and they just took him off of there. So everyone's assuming that he's going to lose the title sooner rather than later so he can take another extended vacation. But we'll see. I mean, it's not that far off. It's on Saturday. So I'm going to get my once they get all the matches announced, peep on Friday night, Saturday morning. I'm gonna have some info, some videos giving you my predictions for the matches once they're all set in stone. Moving on to SmackDown, my favorite NXT superstar. He was also my favorite AEW superstar, Ricky Saints or Ricky Starks. Either way, he is great. Tony Khan didn't know what to do with him, and I think he got punished because, he's friends with people who aren't there no more, like the CM Punks of the world and the Cody Rhodes, and so they just kind of like stay at home, and that's why I'm glad WWE signed him. But I think he was in NXT way too long. But granted, they give him titles, and I think he had 2 titles. He also was a NXT champion. He beat Oba, which is a big deal. Looking at Oba now, he beat Brock Lesnar. So basically, Ricky Saints is up there, He had a promo going back and forth with Cody saying, I know we close, but, I'm going to take that title from you because I deserve to be in that spot, not you, brother. And it led to the main event match, and I'll get to that once I get through this. But it looks like the Fatal Influence is going to do a 6-woman tag match, probably at Backlash, against Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. Because, they're all like frenemies, but they need to take on Fatal Influence to stop them from wrecking shop or whatever. I don't know. That's what, it happens all the time. I'm here for it because I like Fatal Influence. A lot more than when they were, I think they were Fatal Attraction or something. I don't know, with Mandy Rose. But speaking of Alexa Bliss, she decided to retire because due to the Wyatt Six's members, all of them being released last week, she has retired her goth, Sister Abigail gimmick that she be coming out with, with the moth wings and all that in honor of them because she don't feel is right, which is cool. Cool. You know what I mean? I thought she was going to join the Wyatt Six at some point, and that's where they're going to get their 6th member. But I guess, Bray Wyatt, R.I.P., is the 6th member and always will be. Moving on, you got Danhausen, Miz and Kit Wilson all night. They try to set a trap, put a briefcase full of money that had gas or cyanide or COVID. I don't know. It had something in there that was going to capacitate Danhausen so they can beat him up. But for some reason he opens it up and nothing happens, and he takes all the monies, like he calls it, the human monies, and walks away. And then Miz and Kit was like, what happened? Like some Wile E. Coyote type thing where he set the trap for the Roadrunner, and the Roadrunner passes right by the trap, and then Wile E. goes in and be like, what happened to the trap? And it sprungs on him. That's what happened to the Miz. Sprayed in the face with COVID or I don't know, stuff. White stuff. Cocaine. I don't know. But he gets in the ring later, they call him out or something, or I don't know. No, he was already out there because he comes out in the Danhausen buggy, and Miz comes out and says, all right, I believe you, I'm cursed, and I will be your mentor, mentee, or whatever, and let's shake hands. And Kit Wilson comes out, no, you can't, you gotta be mine, or something. And then Danhausen's like, no, you shake my hand because you suck. And he's like, no, you shake my hand. And then he shook Danhausen's hand, and Kit Wilson's like, oh my God, you can't do this to me. And then Miz slaps him in the back of the head, Danhausen, and gives him the skull crashing finale. And he gets top roped, slammed by Kit Wilson, and they all laugh, I beat you up. And then he's in the back crying, Danhausen got wounds, he's holding his stomach, he's all hurt. And Nick Aldis was like, what's up? And he was like, I want them, I want revenge. And they was like, well, how about this? If you can find a partner, it's going to be you and your partner of your choosing versus Kit Wilson and Miz at Backlash. And so who is his partner? He's been on the internet asking the big names and some small names, the Stone Colds, the Shawn Michaels, the Undertakers, the John Cenas, to come out of retirement for 400 human monies to come tag with him. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, I know John Cena is supposed to be at Backlash, but I swear on everything that is holy, if John Cena comes out of retirement for one night only to tag with Danhausen against The Miz and Kit Wilson, I will lose my mind. Not in a good way. That would be the dumbest thing ever. My two picks. One, I think it's probably going to happen because he's not really doing much. Granted, he did get beat up tonight when he was talking to Jacob Fatu. Got beat up by the MFTs, by Solo and Tala. But Royce Keys, that's a good spot for Royce Keys. He can dominate the match. He can show what he does. Beat up Miz, beat up Kit Wilson, just dominate the match. Give a tag to Danhausen, comes in, does his little shtick, and pins the Miz or Kit Wilson. Boom, victory. That's my pick. But then you can go off left field because rumor has it he was supposed to be in a match at Backlash. But with the Pat McAfee situation going away and Jelly Roll, sure. If you're going to go all out of craziness out the door and you want to do some theatrical, Jelly Roll, Danhausen versus Miz and Kit Wilson, sure. But yeah, after a decent match by Cody and Ricky Saints, a Raw superstar. Okay, time out. I know the brand split means absolutely, positively nothing when it serves their purposes. When a Raw superstar invades SmackDown, they're like, oh, he must have got it okay. And other times say, well, Raw superstars can't come over here, so he, whatever. Or maybe Nick Aldis will come out and say, well, I traded for him, or whatever, or he's a free agent because his contract came up and I signed him and now he's a SmackDown, whatever. But Gunther choked out Cody Rhodes and raised the title high because a Backlash match. So, again, but one question is, where's the Viper? Where's Randy Orton at? You haven't seen him since WrestleMania, where he kicked Cody's head to the 30th row in Vegas at the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. That's the last time we seen Mr. Orton, Mr. RKO himself, the Legend Killer. I thought he was possibly getting his rematch at Backlash, and but I guess not. I guess they're waiting for that because I thought he was going to get his rematch at Backlash. But and then that's where he wins 15, which is kind of how it happened last time. WrestleMania 25, he challenges Triple H, loses that match in the main event, and then goes on, I think, Backlash. Or maybe it was back. It was that one. And he had I think he had he had the legacy with them or whatever, and he wins the title. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Mr. Orton could win the title then. But clearly they're not doing that because he hasn't been seen, and the PLE is Saturday. So again, another match for Gunther with absolutely no reason behind it. Is he going to say, oh, maybe he'll come out tonight and say, well, that was my favor to Paul Heyman to pull the strings to get me over on SmackDown, or I don't know. But it makes no rhyme or reason. Just got nothing for the guy ever since he retired John Cena. So they just put him in random matches, random things, and just either he's never on the show or he's on the show choking out people for no reason. You know, I mean, it's like, boom, you got Gunther, nothing to do, so you give him to wrestle guy A or B or 6 or 7. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't see Gunther or Gunther, the ring general, beating Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE championship when he, just defended it on WrestleMania, and they're gonna get. I mean, I guess maybe Cody Rhodes is hurt and needs some time off. So the easy way of doing that is lose the title and then go do what he has to do, get better, get help, whatever he needs, and then comes back at, I don't know, SummerSlam and challenges Gunther for the title. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully on Friday they'll let us know if Cody has a match on Backlash. But we'll see. We'll see in a couple days. But here's a news flash. News flash. The great, the amazing Blake Monroe, fellas. Blake Monroe. She's coming to SmackDown, baby. Give her all the titles right now. Give her the women's, give her the U.S., the Intercontinental, the tags. Just give her all the titles. And if you don't believe my hype about Blake Monroe, go to the search bar right up there, and after the video, of course. But right there, and type in Mariah May's matches in AEW. Don't believe all the stuff you see in NXT, because that's only a tip of the iceberg of how talented this lady is. She is fantastic. She has it all. And she could and will be the best woman on the roster today. I said it, the best. Better than Charlotte, better than Rhea, better than Io, all of them. Blake Monroe has the charisma. She got the athletic ability. She got the wrestling ability. Like I said, check out her AEW matches, especially the ones against Toni Storm. Check out her promos against said Toni Storm, leading up to her becoming the AEW Women's Champion. Like, she is pure cinema every time she steps in that ring. Every time she gets the microphone, she is that dang good. She is the whole effing show. Like I said, don't believe me, check it out for yourself, and you will be shocked and awed. I guarantee it. But if WWE doesn't let her do her thing, then it doesn't matter. Because if she doesn't get the opportunity to show how good she is, then she's just going to be another blonde on the roster, and she's just going to fade away into obscurity and be released in 6 or 7 months. Oops. But, and like, seriously, she is, if their plans is not do anything special with her long term, not for the first few months, 6 months, 2 months, like Tony Khan seems to do when he gets shiny new toys, then he sees another one, and he throws a toy in the corner, kind of like that kid from Toy Story, the kid that was blowing up toys next door to Andy. Remember that kid with the braces, looking like Beavis and Butthead's best friend? Yeah, that dude. So that's what Tony Khan does, and TKO seems to be doing that sometimes. And if they do that with Mariah May, then they shouldn't even moved her from NXT and just kept her down there. All right. Enough glazing over Mariah May, but she's the best. Anyways, Trick and Sammy's fighting over a robot gingerbread man. Sammy killed said robot ginger man. Trick Williams is going to have a funeral for said robot gingerbread man next week on SmackDown. Yeah, the go home show on SmackDown is going to be a funeral for gingerbread man. I mean, at least we're getting a rematch between Sammy and Trick at Backlash. But Gingerbread man, really? A fake gingerbread man at that? Because like he ripped his arms off and it looked like it was a robot or a action figure or a Barbie doll or something. Seriously? Instead of fighting over that? Or is it a U.S. title? Either way, titles, right? Fighting over gingerbread man. I know he was making fun of Sammy, saying he looked like a gingerbread man. That's all you just come out being all sweet and innocent like a gingerbread man. I get it, but we need Lil Yachty back. I'm just saying, Lil Yachty come back, please, please. Beat up Sami Zayn for me. I was hoping that he was going to be in a gingerbread outfit. That would make more sense. What the heck are they doing? But like I said, rematch. I like Trick. Whoop that Trick. He was getting all serious. He was like, man, he was like, you better ask Legend. When I want that, I get that. Facts, brother. And the main event was the Usos versus Tala Tonga and Solo. They were down a member this week because JC Mateo got released the same day the New Day got let go. But the match ended with Jacob coming out and beating up everybody and telling the Usos he's going to dog walk Roman Reigns at Backlash. Sure. I mean, I think it's going to be a banger of a match. It'd be wild and crazy if Jacob Fatu becomes the world heavyweight champion. But wasn't he a SmackDown superstar too? So maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a trade. Raw gets Jacob, SmackDown gets Gunther. But guess what? They could have said that. They could have said that on the internet and be like, oh, WWE post, the GMs got together, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, and they traded Gunther for Jacob. Boom. Mic drop. That's all you got to do. But you say nothing. Now I'm assuming. I ain't that bright, but I'm smarter than the average bear. You know, feel what I'm saying? Yogi Bear, boo boo. You know what I mean? But elephant in the room segment, head scratcher of the week, New Day. TKO, New Day, mutual split. They turned down a construction of their contract. Rumor has it they offer them a number with said incentives and whatever, but it was lower than they wanted. And so they said, let's check out what's out there for the future. What's out there, like the TNAs and the AEWs, which I think AEW is perfect spot for New Day. They got a better tag team division. They do stuff with tag teams. Not a lot, but they got, Cope and Christian. They got FTR. They got Young Bucks, which I've always wanted to see New Day versus Young Bucks. And they got many other tag teams that I'm forgetting, but I'm not a super AEW fan, so I know the basics. And I know that, once their 90-day compete, which puts it around mid-August, which happens to be All in London, England, which happens to be the place where I think Will Ospreay finally gets his AEW World Championship title. Probably against MJF if he can get it from Darby Allin. But either way, I think Will Ospreay is live in London, England. Wembley, boom, New Day pops up. They're probably going to be called Consecratus Creed or Austin Creed. And then Kofi going to be called Kofi because that's his real name. So, but I'm just saying, like, TKO is the one that made it to a point where New Day was, they're the one of the most 10-year Kofi is. I think he's been there for 20 plus years. And for him to decide after everything that's happened to him, losing to Brock that fast, all the things, how long it took him to get a title, let alone a world title. And they've treated him like second-class citizen until he found a New Day with Xavier Woods and Big E, revitalized his career. The New Day is probably the best tag team one of the best tag teams in the world, and this is how you thank them. And if he's willing to walk, it must have been disrespectful as all heck. And TKO, the ones that's killing the business I love just to make a quick buck. And I know it's a business, I understand, but it's also entertainment, because if you're not entertaining people, they won't make money. If they don't make money, there's no business to be had. So in that thinking, you got to do what's right for your consumers. I'm just saying, if McDonald's stopped selling burgers and just giving you buns with nothing in it, people will stop going to McDonald's. I'm just saying, you got to keep your consumers happy as well, because bottom line, no matter how much money that the rich people pay to WWE, the little guys like me buying t-shirts, buying hoodies, buying, belts, that's going to their pockets as well. So I'm just saying, I mean, I know this is the phrasing I've been told. Modernize corporate style deal with less guaranteed legacy structure than before, which means that based on their tenure, their legacy, their money is less than they were getting before that. Make that make sense. I understand budget cuts, but you don't budget cut the people that's been there from day one. You reward them for being with you for so long. Imagine being in your job for 10, 20 years, and they give you less money, or they be like, hey, by the way, I know you've been here for 20 years, but here's a pay cut. How many of y'all stay at that job? I'll wait. Oh, nobody. That's right. Not one of y'all. Exactly. So why people shocked? I would do the same thing. Good for you, Austin, and good for you, Kofi. Because AEW, they don't make the best booking decisions or cohesive approach at a lot of the times. That's why it's hard for me to watch. I catch it here and there. I read up at what's going on. Like I knew MJF lost his title to Darby Allin on a random episode of Dynamite. I know all about those things, and Will Ospreay's, and all the people that are there, Okada's. I watch it not religiously, but enough to get by. I can make a conversation out of it. I've been to shows, okay, but AEW can do a lot of things for the New Day. They can offer them freedom, less restrictions, more control over their characters, which is New Day thrives with that. When WWE gave them control of their characters, the New Day was at their heights, at their peaks. When they stuck their nose in it, that's when it was too cartoony. But once it was up to them to do what they wanted to do, it was entertaining. And they'll get a lighter schedule, and they'll have a stronger downside guarantee because, TK's not looking about how much money I need to pay. He's like, how much money am I not going to pay? Because I'm going to give you all the money. I guarantee once this 90 compete is up, he's already looking at what I can do to get them there. I'm sure that he put out feelers undercover because they are friends in AEW. They are friends with they have been around for a while. Austin is a streamer, up, up, down, down, so that's why they had this little feud with the Elite and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So I would love for them to revisit it, and it never was going to happen because Young Bucks were going to the WWE anytime soon, but now it could be possibility, and that's instant cinema. I swear on everything, instant cinema. This episode is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink mix built for gamers, creators, and grinders like us. No jitters, no crash, no artificial dyes, just smooth, long-lasting focus whenever I'm breaking down WWE storylines, debating NBA, or just recording late at night. It's zero sugars, packed with vitamins and nutrients, and it actually keeps you locked in without the shaky feeling. Head to w.gg and use code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout and save 10%. So level up your energy and let's get back to the breakdown. And thanks for supporting the show. So here, let's move on to the NBA playoffs. We got not one, but 2 Game 7s. The first one, Sixers versus Celtics. The Sixers were down 3-1. That series was over. You had Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. You had them boys ready to move on to the semifinals. And then Jason Tatum got and he showed his cracks in his already battered body. He misses Game 7. But before that, they came back to won 2 straight games going to Game 7. No Jason Tatum. And Joel Embiid dropped 30 bombs. Maxey dropped 30 bombs, and game, set, match. And they complete the comeback and took down the Celtics like 76ers never done in the past. And they move on to the semifinals against another team that they have a lot of history with, the New York Knickerbockers. Yeah, I call them by their full name. Yeah, they in trouble. But it seems like the curse for them is over from Danhausen, so they might have a chance now. So Danhausen, put a curse on them again. I don't want to see the Knicks anymore. But moving on to the other Game 7, Orlando Magic, 8th seed, up 3-1 on these boys. And the number 1 seed, Detroit Pistons, had to make a comeback, and this mollywop, like a great man once said, Jacob Fatu, the Detroit Pistons dog walked the Orlando Magic in Game 6. I've never seen a lopsided fourth quarter in a playoff game in my life. It was like 38 or 36-8. Yes, the Orlando Magic was held to 8 points in the fourth quarter. That's bonkers. That's defensive dominance and offensive prowess. Like, they were scoring, and then there were like turnovers or nope or shot clock violation or whatever. And they killed it. And then Game 7, it started off, it was over for the Magic. Magic kept around until there was 3-4 minutes left, and the Pistons just kept piling on. And all I heard was Detroit basketball. And enough, dog. You had Ben Wallace in the front row dapping up Cade Cunningham. Ironically, the last time similar situation happened, they had to win Game 7 against that team. The Tayshaun Princes, the Rip Hamiltons, the Chauncey Billups. Rip Hamilton was there too. And Ben Wallace, that team, won 7 games against the Orlando Magic and beat them in Game 7. Let's go. Just saying, maybe these games, the whole, having to work this hard to get out of the first round will show the Cades and the Tobias. Tobias was the MVP of Game 7. That they got what it takes to adversity, and now they know that they're not promised victories, that they got to work hard for these victories, and no team in the playoffs are going to be an easy out, no matter who they are, what their name is, what players is on the court. They going to play hard because it's the playoffs. It ain't regular season where you can get away with, games here and there. So them playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the semifinals is going to be an interesting series. You got Donovan Mitchell and James Harden over there. So they need to come to work starting on Tuesday. Like I said, Detroit basketball for sure. Moving on to my 2 favorite Major League Baseball teams. You got the LA Dodgers and Detroit Tigers. Oh, excuse me. The Dodgers right now are 21-13, which is really good this early in the season, consistent. But Shohei Ohtani currently on a 15 at-bat hitless streak. He hasn't had a hit in 4 straight games. He's like 32nd in home runs with 5. I mean, all it takes is him to hit like 4 or 5 real quick, and he'll be right there, in the top echelon. But, you got to worry about these things. I know it's a long, super long. I mean, it's not over. The playoffs don't start till October. It's May. So I know it's a long season, but you got to look at things as they come along. And Ohtani is going over 4 straight games. He hasn't pitched in a month, so it's not that. So maybe he's hurt, maybe it's in his head, but we'll keep an eye on that because he's like my favorite baseball player of all time. It's him and Ken Griffey Jr. That's it. No said. Then you got Detroit Tigers. They're 18-17, which seems like a crappy record, but they're on top. They're leading their division, the Central Division, and they're dominating at home. When they're at home, they're 12-3. 3 people is beating them at home. But on the road is where they're getting all the losses. They've only won 6 times and lost 14 road games, which means that if they're in the playoffs, they need to get home field. Because if they have to go on the road to win games, clearly right now, as the team is set, they're not winning those road games, and they need to, granted, I mean, like I said, long season, but they got to right the ship sooner or later and get that team cohesive enough to get through this long season. Or they ain't going to miss the play. They're going to miss the playoffs. But that's our show for this week. So don't forget to, do the things. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification because I be dropping videos at the random. Maybe it's a pack opening. Maybe it's a video about something that just happened on sports or a great game or wrestling releases or whatever, signings, debuts. I just try to keep my head on a swivel just like you, so notification will pop up on your phone, pop up on your computer, pop up on your TV screen. So you want to see this face, you want to hear what my thoughts are, and I'm going to be having an interview, not sure with who, but somebody in the sports realm anytime in the next couple weeks. And I will edit that and I will get it to y'all, and y'all can see me talk to somebody great. And like I said, keep hitting the likes, doing the subscribing, because the more likes, the more subscribers, the more viewers I get, and the more viewers I get, the more opportunities I will have to get some interviews. Like Chris Van Vliet said, the likes will get him bigger, better guests. So he had Stone Cold, Undertaker, John Cena. I'm trying to get to them heights. So I need your help to get to those heights. So remember that. And then I'm still on that mission to learn One Piece, One Piece card game, So tonight I'm going to check out a local tournament at my local card shop and see how things go. And maybe one of them will be my teacher and show me the ropes, because I want to learn, baby. So until next week, we're going to have episode 28, almost episode 30. Can you believe it? We're about to be on 30 episodes of this crazy, wild journey that never thought was going to happen, never thought possible, but I'm here every week talking sports, talking wrestling, talking about Backlash. I'm talking about it. And so remember, same Bishop time, same Bishop channel, Bishop Breakdown on TikTok and YouTube, but same Bishop channel, because like a great man once said, this guy, I got 2 words for you. Oh, wrong person. All I got to say, like a great man once said, deuces, ooses, ha ha.